Hello again, and welcome to the Callaway Plaza pregame show, everyone. I'm your host, Andy Demetra, the voice of the Yellow Jackets. We are thrilled to welcome you back to Bobby Dodd Stadium for the renewal of a series rich in history as your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets take on the number 20 Ole Miss Rebels. Coming up on the Callaway Plaza pregame show, we will break down today's matchup, give you all the stats, the numbers, and the notes to know before Tome Leather, and we'll, of course, give a little peek into the personality of our Georgia Tech players. Like we said, an historic series renews here today at Bobby Dodd Stadium, Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. Let's first set the scene and tell you more about the Rebels. They come in with a ranking of number 20 and a record of 2-0 after wins over Troy and Central Arkansas. This on the heels of an historic 2021 season in which they set a school record with 10 regular season wins and an appearance in the Sugar Bowl. Now, the Rebels did lose 14 starters off that team, but they restocked through the transfer portal. 24 additions this offseason via the portal, and today marks the 5th all-time meeting between the Yellow Jackets and Rebels. The series is knotted at 2 games apiece. The last 3 games have all come in bowls, which means today is the first time Georgia Tech and Ole Miss have met in the regular season since 1946 at Bobby Dodd. First, though, let's rewind to more recent history and last Saturday at Bobby Dodd Stadium when Georgia Tech used a punishing running attack and 4 turnovers to overpower Western Carolina 34-17. Let's turn the sound up and take a look at the highlights from last week at Bobby Dodd.
We are getting set for opening kickoff. Georgia Tech hosting the Western Carolina Catamounts.
This is a team that is hungry for a win.
Georgia Tech, the opening kick, we are underway.
Never hated, always stayed official. In my part, I played it, now I'm faded. Money made it, take my time and demonstrate it.
Pressured up the middle, and they got him. Ayinde Ely with the sack.
United, different dip. If it's about $1 million, put my flight, I'll take the trip. Youngest, getting rich. I'ma always make a list. With some diamonds.
Jump ball, picked off. Derek Allen with the interception for Georgia Tech.
Like this. I put you on for real. I put you on for real. I put you on, I put you on, I put you on for real. I put you on.
Picked off. Charlie Thomas.
I put you on, I put you on, I put you on for real.
The Yellow Jackets racked up 243 rushing yards, had 10 tackles for loss, and it all added up to a big win at Bobby Dodd over the Catamounts. Now let's hear from head coach Jeff Collins and Georgia Tech players as they prepare for today's matchup versus Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, they're an explosive offense. Both quarterbacks are very, very talented. The running backs are really, really good. They've got a host of receivers that can make explosive plays and stretch the field vertically. And then an offensive line that is big, that is physical, and the pace of their offense and the multiplicity of their offense is a big challenge. It's a big challenge to replicate out at practice, where we're trying our best to simulate what is going to be on Saturday, but once that it starts rolling, they know what they're doing. They're very fast in what they do, and they execute at a high level, and they've got really good players running it as well. So we've got a big challenge ahead of us, and we're going to need every day of prep and every minute to get ready to play at a high level.
They have a couple good backs. They run hard, run smooth, run fluidly. They one cut and go guys, and they can beat you. They can get behind the pads and beat you, or they can run away from you. So they got a good back group over there, and I can't wait to compete against them.
I mean, just handling the tempo. They go fast. I feel like for us, the biggest thing is just getting our cleats in the ground and just playing. I think we'll be fine. I'm confident. I'm excited. So, yeah.
In the preseason, I feel like I became a better student of the game. Just not focusing on my skill. Of course, I worked on my craft, but I felt like coming into a new offense with Coach Long's playbook, I had to figure out why we were doing certain things and how to do them in a better way. So I just feel like when I got in the film room, I just wanted to study, be a student of the game.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is every single Saturday or Monday night or whenever we play, has a different flavor, has a different feel. So obviously there are things to build on, but every single Saturday you've got to come out and bring your A game, attention to detail, have the right attitude, mindset. A whole group of guys have to be ready to be above the line and play, especially against a team that plays at such fast tempo. We need to have at least 26 defensive guys that are ready to roll in and play at a very high level and execute at a high level. So that's the biggest thing, is just the critical moments of each game, making sure that we're playing our best brand of football. And so every Saturday is its own game, but there are things to build on and things to learn from each game that we play as well.
And by the way, one Yellow Jacket may know a little more about Ole Miss and the rest of his teammates. That would be Cade Long, Georgia Tech's redshirt junior from Hickson, Tennessee, who's in his 4th season as Tech starting long snapper. His mom, Amy, played golf at Ole Miss. The former Amy Napolitano lettered 4 years for the Rebels from 1988 to 1991. Check out that textbook form on the follow-through. Whether snapping or swinging, clearly pinpoint accuracy runs in the Long family. Well, we are just getting started here on the Callaway Plaza pregame show. Still to come, we will throw open the video vault and re-examine the most historic game between Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. We'll also have our stat watch and milestone tracker. Don't go anywhere. The Callaway Plaza pregame show continues in just a moment.
Hey, look to your left. Look to your left. Bow. Hello. Yeah. I'm trying to hit somebody so hard I break the mic right here though. Yeah. Oh, I know that sounded good in the mic.
No, it's fun.
You got something you want to say to the Yellow Jacket family, man?
Oh man. Hey, just watch the online work. Watch the trenches work today.
No, shit. Shout out Abby. Her water always 10 out of 10. We got backer? All right, bro.
A peek inside practice this week as Georgia Tech gears up for number 20 Ole Miss. Toe Meese Leather is coming your way at 3:30. Welcome back to the Callaway Plaza pregame show, everyone. I'm Andy Demetra. As you know, as broadcasters, we pour through the box scores, scour through the stats to find the key numbers, the key stats to get you prepared for kickoff, and we present those to you now in Stat Watch. Let's delve more into number 20 Ole Miss, and even though head coach Lane Kiffin has a reputation for slinging it all over the field, Ole Miss actually ranks 11th in the nation right now in rushing at 249 yards per game, better than 6 yards a carry. Last year, the Rebels finished 11th nationally in yards per carry. Freshman Quinshawn Judkins and TCU transfer Zach Evans both average more than 90 rushing yards a game. You have to be stout not only on 3rd down against Ole Miss, but you have to be ready on 4th down as well. And that's because in the FBS last year, no team attempted or converted more 4th downs than Ole Miss, 31 of 49. And finally, Ole Miss likes to play at that breakneck pace. The Rebels ranked 4th in the nation last year in plays per game, 80.5 per contest. Very important to have proper alignment and proper assignments in a compressed time window when you try to tame that Ole Miss offense. Well, last weekend versus Western Carolina, several Yellow Jackets dusted off some decade-old milestones. Let's check them out now in our milestone tracker. Let's begin with redshirt junior running back Dante Smith, who had a career day versus the Catamounts. Dante ran for 102 yards and 3 touchdowns, including this 51-yard gallop to the house in the first quarter. Did you know Dante Smith became the first Georgia Tech running back to rush for over 100 yards and score 3 rushing touchdowns in the same game since St. John Days did it in the 2014 Orange Bowl versus Mississippi State? The last time a Georgia Tech running back hit those benchmarks here at Bobby Dodd Stadium, Anthony Allen, back in 2010. Meanwhile, Charlie Thomas could not play in the first half versus Western Carolina due to his targeting penalty versus Clemson, but the senior linebacker more than made up for it after halftime. Charlie finished with 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and an interception for good measure against Western Carolina. Did you know since 2000, no Georgia Tech defensive player has ever finished with 8 tackles, 2 TFLs, a sack, and an interception in the game? Well, Charlie did that all in one half. Finally, Georgia Tech has shown a re-energized pass rush through the first 2 games. The Yellow Jackets have racked up 7 combined sacks in the first 2 games of the season. Did you know that's their most sacks in the first 2 games since 2007? As we told you, Georgia Tech and Ole Miss are meeting for a 5th time in school history. These programs were members of the Southeastern Conference together for 30 years, yet curiously, they'd only met twice during that span. Once here at Grant Field in 1946, and the other one was one you probably remember. It was the 1953 Sugar Bowl, which Georgia Tech won 24-7 to help capture its 3rd national title. Both teams entered New Orleans that day undefeated. The Rebels actually jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but behind the late quarterback Pepper Rogers, Georgia Tech ripped off 24 unanswered points. The defense also did its job by forcing 6 turnovers, and head coach Bobby Dodd could join John Heisman and William Alexander by claiming a national championship to call his own. Coming up on the Callaway Plaza pregame show, we will give you our official hype trailer before you head inside the gates and join us at Bobby Dodd Stadium. And also, you know TK Chimenza has a hard-hitting defensive tackle, while he's also a hard-hitting post-practice correspondent. We'll show you that after this on the Callaway Plaza pregame show.
How many stripes does Buzz have? I'll go with 4.
In the hole.
Yeah!
4.
3 stripes.
10. 4.
I'm gonna say 60. 8 for sure. What kind of picture? I said 5.
Well, you probably knew a lot of pieces of Georgia Tech trivia, but did you know that one? Well, you do now. As we welcome you back to the Callaway Plaza pregame show, I'm Andy Demetra. TK Chimenza is used to chasing quarterbacks, but this week he chased his teammates around with a microphone after practice, serving as our post-practice Q&A correspondent. Let's see how TK did.
I just got to ask you a few questions, man. Really see if you're one of us. What's your last meal?
Shrimp Alfredo.
What's your last meal? Your last meal?
Grandma mac and cheese.
That's it? That's not a meal! Charlie, that's not a meal! Stop! Gotta ask you something. Your last meal. What do you eat?
Captain Grill sandwich.
This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. Michael Mays, it's off season. We worked out Saturday morning. You have the rest of the day off. You're gonna be bad meal-wise. Tell the fans what you're gonna eat for your meal.
Let's see, bad?
Yeah.
Like, how bad we talking? Like, really bad or bad?
We don't have workouts on Monday. Leave that bad.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Let's go to JJ's.
All right, we'll begin at JJ's.
Let's hit the 10-piece meal, 10-piece whole wing with the fries. Let's go with the 20-piece shrimp. Then let's go with the strawberry mango lemonade. And then we might experiment with the red velvet cake.
Jeff Collins? Yeah, we're here right here. We just got a couple questions to ask you. Can you let the people know that you're a pretty popular guy?
Okay,
I've heard
sure.
of you before.
Sure.
Just a little.
Yeah, I'm got you.
Give us your morning routine schedule. What goes on in the AM for Minister of Mayhem?
Yeah, absolutely. So based on your number, that's about when I get into the office each morning, get the practice ready, watch some extra special teams, watch some extra defense, get everything aligned for the coaches meeting so they can pour into the players and get the players ready for a great morning practice.
Last question. I know you can't really play favorites.
Okay.
If you had to choose a favorite player, which one would it be?
Since you're here right now, it's definitely not going to be you.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, you may notice TK wears number 5. It seems like an unorthodox number for a 6'3", 335-pound defensive tackle, but there's a story behind that. TK's grandfather, the late Stephen Chimedza, was a former professional soccer player in his native Zimbabwe and was actually captain of the Zimbabwe national soccer team in the mid-1970s. He wore number 5 for Zimbabwe, and TK wears that number in his grandparents' honor. Well, we are getting ready for Tome's Leather here at Bobby Dodd Stadium between Georgia Tech and number 20 Ole Miss. The gates are opening in a matter of moments. We can't wait to see it inside here. But first, enjoy our official hype trailer to get you set for kickoff. That'll wrap up this week's edition of the Callaway Plaza pregame show. I'm Andy Demetra. Can't wait to see you in here. Go Jackets!
Ole Miss headed to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech in good old Bobby Dodd Stadium.
Yeah, here we go again. That boy stole my style, stole my flow again. These boys hate me, like here we go again. Got played by a 5, pulled up with a 10. Yeah, hold on, my pocket is rolling. You and I'm hitting my shoulder. Whip the pop, now add the soda. This I like, I think you say Lotus. Let me throw it from night to the morning. And she got work and I hear she got rollers. Money got longer, my diamonds got colder. These niggas like they got King Cobra. They tough, they act like they soldiers. I got this you would light with a lighter. I can light on the stove. Dark at night, I drop a log on the fire. Wonder when the wood's out in the cold. I got this you can play for your mama. I got this you can play for them. I got this you can sell to the trappers. Indicated with the I know some rappers that high Mercedes. I know some rappers that play but blow.